Why is racism and hatred for black people so pervasive? Take a moment to consider this subject thoroughly. In addition to hatred, some individuals view black people as threats and are envious of them. According to an American Psychological Association study, black people are perceived as threats as reported by Vox. Though this tradition dates back centuries, why is that? Research indicates that there are certain deeply ingrained beliefs among non-black individuals that inadvertently incite feelings of hatred and jealousy in them. Yes, the alarming underlying reasons are present. Jealousy can be sparked by a variety of factors, such as fear of losing their relationships, physical superiority toward black people, fear of going extinct, and fear of genetic annihilation. Greetings and welcome, a channel dedicated to showcasing obscure black history and events that all people, black or white, should be aware of. We believe that because black people are constantly exposed to propaganda that makes them forget their greatness, they are frequently misled. Our mission is to inform you about the historical occurrences that shaped everything. Together, let's create a black community that thrives. We'll explain the perceptions of black people as threats in this video. The white male may become deeply insecure as a result of these prejudices, questioning his own physical and sexual appeal. Given the increased acceptance of interracial partnerships in today's society, some white men may feel threatened by the attention given to black guys, worrying that their partners may find them more attractive on a sexual level. These worries have the potential to erode relationship stability and lead to needless conflict. According to statistics, black guys may even be more macho than other males since they are better at satisfying their relationships. Because of this, white people now perceive black men as threats. It's interesting to note that there is an increase in the number of marriages and relationships between black men and white women in the current environment. This development may indicate that more people are becoming aware of the sexual charisma that black males have, something that many now freely admit. 2. Physical dominance. Black people have long been acknowledged for their remarkable physical prowess and charisma. These attributes have occasionally caused anxiety and uneasiness in non-black people who perceive the possible domination of black people as a danger to their own standing and principles. Because of their experiences being outclassed, even white guys view black people as superhuman. Black people were marginalized by social and cultural frameworks built by non-black societies, such as those of European colonists. They exalted delicate fragility as a sign of culture and refinement, and they discounted physical labor, at which black people excelled. Aristotle and other ancient philosophers helped spread the idea that black people were naturally submissive. These false assumptions served as justification for the abuse and enslavement of people of African descent. Nonetheless, because of black people's physical superiority, white people feel threatened, regardless of how much the physical labor is diminished. They possess genes that aid in muscle growth and their assimilation into the natural biological hierarchy. Research has also shown that black individuals are endowed with genes that enable them to possess both physical and cognitive dominance. Reason 3. Genetic annihilation fear. Because of their charisma and physical prowess, black people constituted a serious threat to their non-black masters during the time of black servitude. The idea that non-black people would lose control over their own genes and eventually become extinct if they married white people gave rise to the fear of genetic annihilation. In a biological sense, when two people mate, their genes mix and affect the characteristics of their progeny. White people were afraid that if they married black people, black genes would eventually take precedence over their own. Natural selection, in which the environment chooses genes with higher survival rates, is the cause of this. The child inherits a combination of the mother's and father's genes that confer particular features. However, one gene is dominant while the other is silenced due to its robust potential. Naturally, black individuals have a higher chance of their genes predominating since they are more adapted to their surroundings. Therefore, if a black woman marries a white man, or a white woman marries a black man, White genes will be inhibited and black genes will be superior. This anxiety led to the prohibition of interracial marriage in the past. The one-drop rule was put in place to keep black people under subjugation. According to this legal theory, a person should be regarded as black if they had even one black ancestor. They shouldn't be permitted to wed a white person as a result. Since this is a reality today and cannot be made legal, there is fear and hatred. Do you like the video as of now? If so, let us remind you to subscribe to our channel and like the video in order to see more content about Black history and culture. Now let's go on. Reason 4. Concern about extinction. When a group feels threatened in terms of their cultural, ethnic, or racial identity, they frequently suffer from dread of possible extinction. Particularly white supremacists have deep worries about black people because they believe they are powerful, alluring, and superior. This anxiety is a result of the perception that white people are becoming fewer in number, influence, or power. These anxieties may become more intense due to changes in the population, such as migration patterns, cultural transformations, and birth rates. The perceived genetic advantages of black people may exacerbate white people's discomfort, since they feel that black people are displacing them. This anxiety may give rise to racism and discrimination as a result of a desire to protect one's own identity. Fear of extinction is a result of the loss of genetic diversity. White genes will eventually be suppressed since black genes are thought to be more capable. Consequently, there's a concern of the extinction of the white population. Fear of being replaced is the fifth reason. Because of an unequal distribution of income, white people have benefited from certain privileges and advantages for generations. This status quo is being challenged by societal shifts, though, which makes some white people fearful of being replaced. Before, structural impediments kept black people from owning property, thus no matter how hard they worked, their situation would remain unaltered. These obstacles are no longer present, enabling black people to achieve their goals in full. The idea that black people are taking over can cause worry and anxiety. This anxiety is heightened, especially if white people think that black people have advantages in economics, culture, or demography. These worries may give rise to a defensive attitude and opposition to social advancement. Black people exhibit superior cognitive capacities, and since there is now no barrier that may stifle this, it seems clear that they fear being replaced. There used to be institutional and systemic racism to allay this concern, but such institutions are no longer in place. Though they won't acknowledge it as true, some ultra-white conservatives and supremacists may subtly acknowledge that black people are thought to be more capable of surviving than white people. Rather, they feel inferiority complexes and jealousy, which feed their animosity. Feelings of inadequacy and inferiority toward those deemed strong or special might give rise to an inferiority complex. Low self-esteem, self-doubt, and animosity toward people who are thought to be superior can all be signs of this complex. The inferiority mindset of white people is frequently the fundamental cause of disputes between white and black people. Their bitterness and feelings of inadequacy towards black people are shown via their hate. The idea that black people are superior to white people can make white people feel scared and make them believe they are not capable of reaching the same success or brilliance. They may feel animosity and target black people with their wrath because they are fixated on their alleged flaws or deficiencies. Fear of the decline of white supremacy. Radical white conservative supremacist organizations frequently harbor a deep-seated dread of letting go of white supremacy. They see clear challenges to their social, cultural, and political dominance from growing racial and ethnic diversity, progressive social movements, and changing societal standards. According to white supremacist ideology, white people are superior by nature and were selected by God. When faced with obstacles, these groups become fearful. Ironically, the reason for this anxiety is that if white racists were right, black people would not be a source of worry for them as they would be the chosen ones. Racism, xenophobia, and a frantic attempt to uphold established power systems are common ways in which this fear presents itself. These worries are rooted in the idea that white supremacists would eventually lose the advantages that have been granted to them for many generations and become a minority in their own nation. These anxieties may be made worse by political discourse that supports a us versus them mentality and serves to validate these ideas. These groups occasionally turn to violence and intimidation in an effort to maintain their power and control. How do you feel? These factors, are they not the main causes of animosity toward Black people? Will racism and prejudice ever vanish and these worries be allayed? Tell us what you think about the strong genetics and biological superiority of Black people. Do you think it's a myth or a reality? Do you want to see more videos similar to this one? In such case, click the bell icon to subscribe to. I appreciate you viewing, and be sure to tune in for the next one.